Alright homies, welcome back. We have returned to the realm of tokusatsu. This is actually like a full review. This is a full review. This is no halftime report. We're doing a full season review of the show that just recently ended and won the hearts of many. A full review, full season review of Kamen Rider Gavv, the Gummy Rider. Full season review per se, because we did talk about it in the mid-season review, all the story events leading up to the halfway like check mark of Gavv, like how we talked about like Gavv gaining like Blizzard Sorbet form, and Hanto getting Frappe custom, the third rider Lakia, Shoma defeating one of the stomach family members, Shita. Hanto beating up like his master's like killer, finishing his arc, and then the most like, you know, laissez-faire type of like Kamen Rider, but badass slash aura farmer that is like Lakia, the pudding rider who is like searching for his little brother's killer. Yeah, we like talk about those, right? If you want to like check out like that review so that you can like, I don't know, let's say you want to do like a like a side-by-side video watchathon on your guys' end, do like first episode impression and halftime review, and by the time this video comes out, a full season review, you're more than obliged to like do so. I'll be like the type of weird person that like, you know, does that like just to like, you know, catch up, right? Because you don't want to like come in and be like this like dumb, I'm not calling it dumb, but just like the late student that was really like behind and decides to like catch up. There are like videos that you can catch up on. I'll still keep going on with my curriculum, but there are videos that you can catch up on before this point, so that you guys don't get like spoiled. Of course, the episodes are out, but if you want to hear like my talks, my impressions, right, those videos are like there, right? Just, you know, saying, right? You can go check out my channel, and I'll even like provide links. I'll even provide links like in the comments for anyone that wants to like check out those. So where did we leave off in Kamen Rider Gavv, right? Where did we leave off in Kamen Rider? So yeah, everyone is starting out like getting accustomed to their lives, right? Hanto's a better man. Lakia it has taken over Slee Suga's like office. Shoma is enjoying his time at Happy Party and being like a civic citizen, right? Just bringing happiness to those around him, you know, doing like odd jobs. But there is some like trouble brewing, right? And that is, you know, Jeep, right? The mess of a boy that lost his like wife slash twin sibling slash sister, Shita. Yeah, he goes off the AWOL. He seeks revenge on Longo, especially Longo, and Shoma by being adopted. Joins a higher up stomach family by being the fiance. What was it? Let me rephrase that. Shippa joins a high elite Granute family called the Jalduks. The Jalduks? They yeah. So Jeep becomes the fiance to the daughter of President Boca Jalduk, Lizel Jalduk, right? And Jeep sided with them in hopes of getting revenge on Longo and Shoma, but eventually the the gel ducts become integrated or fascinated by the Stomach Inc.'s dark treats that they bought out Stomach, you know? So it's like, oh geez, how well is that gonna turn? Everybody except for maybe like one joins up with the Zalduks. Longo, Niel, only like those two, right? Longo becomes like a worker for the Zalduks. Niel like just joins up automatically. The only one who's opposed to it was Glota, right? She's like the she's like our baddie, right? Our bad bitch, you know? She's a killer. She's a baddie though, right? So yeah, like the Zalduks cause trouble, right? By forcing the Stomach family to amplify the Stomach's operations aggressively, you know? Longo becomes like a henchman. Nielf becomes the new scientist for them. Lota is the one that's like strongly opposed to this. There's also some other stuff to the human world, right? Honto decides to look up the Inoue family line because Shoma's last name is Inoue, taking after his mother. He finds a clue via like a candy shop owner, right? The candy shop owner is actually the brother of Shoma's mom. I think his name is like, if I remember correctly, Michiru Inoue. And he ran a candy shop or snack shop in dedication of her sister who doesn't know she passed away, she died, right? He only knows that she's missing, and he doesn't know that he's actually Shoma's uncle, right? So there's like that, you know, overarching like family plot point that Shoma doesn't want to give to Michiru. So he wants to like protect the truth, spare him of like any pain, which is, you know, rightfully so. Of course, Shoma is shocked too to like learn that, because wow, I didn't know I had like an uncle though, right? Then we get to see like Shoma versus Longo, and yo, that Shoma versus Longo fight, holy crap, the first fight. Longo is a fucking powerful ass bitch, like damn. Bitch has like a giant like great sword, he has like a protective shield, he's super speedy. He's got like dragon wings like in the season finale, like this bitch is like fucking OD, he's fired though. Damn, bro. And he believes in Granute supremacy, right? Like, we actually know a lot about like the Stomach Inc. or like the Granutes through like Longo, because Longo is the one that killed Shoma's father, and is the reason for maintaining and trying to evolve the Stomach Inc. in the Granute society, right? Like, he's the bitch. Like I said, he believes in Granute supremacy. He thinks like humans are just weak, like they're just like cattle for him to like make dark treats, like a serviceable means, right, to make Stomach evolve and reach higher than ever before, you know? But little did he know that like Shoma kept evolving as well. Like, even though like Cake Sorbet isn't like working, and he got like a newly new form, which is like this thing, the Gochipod, the over form and master form, right? So by collecting like 100 gachizos all cramped into like one like pod, Shoma can turn into Overgav, which is like a very strong and powerful form, built for, you know, one hit blows, one touch of deaths. Or he could be Master form, which is what he used on Longo. And he's a speedy bitch, like he's like Flash like type shit. Shoma unlocked the Speed Force. Shoma unlocked the Speed Force and just running circles on Longo, right? And Shoma defeats him. He thought he killed him, but no, the bitch like comes back after like another character's arc, which is Lakia's, and Lakia gets like a new form. So you know how like Lakia Amalga, the third Kamen Rider, or aka Kamen Rider Vram is his name. You know how this bitch was like running around, right, trying to find the killer of his little bro, Komel, right? He wants to seek the killer who killed, he wants to avenge Komel's life on who, like, killed him. And Lakia found her, per se, and that is Glota. Glota is the one that killed Komel, who incidentally, killed Shoma's like only good stomach family member. She killed Dente's stomach because after the death of Longo, Glota just went into a spiral craze of like madness, right? And her whole like emotional state of how she got to that point was that everyone in the family is like, you know, drifting off, right? She's like this like cool baddie of a queen right here. She's like a kraken granute, an octopus granute. But the thing is, like, she's powerful because she feels safe and comfortable being with her stomach family outside of Shoma, of course, because they treat Shoma like shit because he's a scared little human. Like, she, like Longo, cares about, you know, the strong granute family members in her family. Longo, I mean, he doesn't see family like that way. He only sees, like, you know, who can put food to the table, right? Who's making the dough? Who's earning their keep in the stomach house, right? And he believes that until he dies, right? He's a proud soldier. He's a proud warrior. Right? So, yeah, man. Like, Glota dies at the hands of Lakia, who unlocks a new form called Pudding a la Mode. I wish I had, like, the toy for that, but I can only buy so much with what I have, right? At the time. So, Lakia avenges, Komel's killer. And incidentally, Dente's killer, right? And all Glota... And all Glota ever, like, wanted was to, like, keep her family safe or keep her family intact. Shita, Jeep, Niel, Longo, right? She wanted to keep her family close together. You know, but then she broke down because she saw her family either being killed off or leaving her behind for something else. The only one that, like, stayed was Longo, because Longo respected people who put food to the table, right? As like I said. And she found comfort in Longo's words because, yeah, Longo is the head. She wasn't the one to, like, find her own self or abandon her family, right? She just, like, was a scared little girl. She was an isolated, scared little girl on the inside. You know? There were some other stuff like Hanto's secondary closure, right? Hanto found his mom's killer, a wolf granute. But I think it's the thing of Kamen Rider Gavv. Like the thematics is like, you know, I seek forgiveness sort of thing, right? They have like this like thematic of the riders being presented with like revenge or, you know, stuff like that. Like Hanto, you know, Hanto, sad backstory, lost his mom, lost his sensei to both a wolf granute and a stomach. Wolf granute and Slee Suga. The wolf granute, unlike Slee Suga, who was doing it for science, but, you know, was doing it for the sake of recreating his son that, like, passed away. He was actually like a father, and you get to see his lab. He made the Dark Shomas or the Bitter Gavs as a way to study granute DNA and find a way to resurrect his son. But that didn't pan out because, you know, you choose an evil life, karma is gonna be a bitch about it and like bite you in the ass eventually. Sort of shit. So Hanto found his mom's killer, but was seeking like redemption. So Hanto tried to be like a better man, which he succeeded, right? There were like at many times he is very like impulsive, like he becomes too hot-headed. But I like that this season is definitely treating Hanto better than some other like hothead or very like vengeful fucking riders, right? Where, you know, like riders on like at the break of vengeance, like let's say for example Kamen Rider Axel, Terui Ryu, yeah, there you go. I was like blanking on the name. Terui Ryu. His whole shtick was that the Redder Dopant killed his family, and he became Kamen Rider Axel via who was it? Philip's mom, some shit, right? So he got the power, and he went through a whole journey, an arc of himself trying to be better so he could kill the Redder Dopant. But thing is that he's a scientist, or he's a psychomaniac. He doesn't believe in like seeking redemption or forgiveness. He was just trying out powers. I don't see like villains being like, you know, seeking redemption or seeking finding forgiveness. Not unlike Gavv here. Of course, like the main like villains don't like seek forgiveness at all, right? Longo doesn't seek forgiveness or seeks redemption. Glota doesn't seek forgiveness or redemption. Shita didn't. Neo didn't. Most main villains don't seek forgiveness. But some of the side characters do, like Dente's stomach, right? Dente's stomach seeks forgiveness for putting Shoma through hell and putting Lakia through hell, and to a sense putting Hanto through hell, because you want to know why? Dente was the one that made the dark treats. It's his fault, you know? So he takes like full accountability and full responsibility and accepts his demise, accepts redemption via his death on several occasions. But you know what? The main riders don't stoop to that barrel. Don't stoop to that, not barrel, but stoop to that low of offing Dente, offing the Wolf Granute, or some shit like that, because how would that honor like their loved ones though, right? I mean, of course, Lakia killed Glota because Glota didn't seek forgiveness, right? Do you know, she's like, do you know how many part-timers that I killed, bro? A dime a dozen. Your brother's no different. He was a weak bitch like you. caring about family and shit. Get the fuck out of here, basura. Her words, not mine. Her words. Right? But that's kind of like a thematic. It's like, you know, these villains, like, of course, like, the main villains really do revel in, like, the shit that they're doing because they're all powerful, right? They're winners. They get to say whatever they want because they're, like, you know, unstoppable forces. But for some dudes that, like, have a conscience and try to seek forgiveness, I think that's, like, a really cool thematic that they explore in Gavv, right? Like, these are just, like, part-timers that didn't know what they were, like, doing, and they were actually committing, like, murder, right? Kidnapping via murder, all for the sake of some, like, treat. And the Wolf Graniard was definitely, like, trying to seek forgiveness, you know? Anyway, Lakia kills Glota. Hanto, quote-unquote, kills Lango. All that's left is Jeep, who becomes, like, in the later half of Gavv, man, he's such a bitch, bro. It's so fucking crazy, right? After losing Sheeta, that... what the fuck was his goal anyway? This fucking spoiled ass bitch. No, call him a bitch. Planned like a coup with the Zalduks, right? As a way to seek vengeance on Lango and Shoma. But then his plan didn't work, and he becomes even more psychotic. Attaches, like, the same, like, Gavv that brought him, like, so much pain and misery, and he wouldn't stoop to that low because he wanted to be strong. Then later, like, grows because his ass beats up, quote unquote, beats up Lakia. And then he has, like, his one last final goodbye, right, to Lizel. You know? He's a crazy motherfucker, right? I'm tired of hearing this bitch whine. Why didn't Shoma, like, kill both of them? Why did Sheeta have to sacrifice himself? Right? Like, cheese and rice. Can't, like, stand him. The architect of, like, ruin. You know? While Sheep was getting, like, you know, trying to find himself, Niel was scheming his own machinations, right? Niel, like, Niel resurrected the dead Dr. Suga, Slee Suga, made him into, like, a zombie with some modifications to his Kamen Rider Bake outfit. But then on a sudden, like, I would say maybe like a heel turn, if that's like a appropriate description. Niel makes a negotiation with Shoma, right? Like, he actually, like, honors his bargain. This bitch, like, I call him, like, a sleazebag, like, scheming, sinister scientist. I call him a scheming, sinister scientist because, right, he's just like that archetype. Like me getting, like, flashbacks of, like, a fucking guy with the lemon doctor. I forgot what was his name, Ryu or some shit, or I don't know. Like, who was it? Like, I forgot, like, his name, but he was so fucking despicable about it. But no, actually, there's, like, more depth to, like, Niel, because he honors agreements. Like, when he made, like, a negotiation with Shoma, he honors his agreement by, like, bringing back, like, you know, all the kidnapped, like, humans, presses, to the human world as Shoma requested, right? All because Niel wants to prove his own worth, right? We get to see, like, in a flashback of Nielf, like oh, Nielf is like someone who's of weak constitution, right? He's not as strong as buff and as aura farming as Glota and Longo. Rather, right, he wants to prove to himself that he can make the Stomach family rise through other like machinations, you know? Nielf doesn't care, right? Nielf doesn't care about like about some of the other stuff that like Glota's been feeling, that maybe a little bit like what Longo is, or even like the shitty horrible like twins. Rather, he wants to ascend Stomach family through his own methods, through his own means. That way he'll be like respected. He was seeking his own glory, right? But that glory was summed up by his actions, and his actions were, you know, meticulous meticulous off-screen sciences, you know? Like he was in cahoots with Suga, right? He betrayed Stomach family to join with the Zalduks. He wasn't part of like the Stomach family. He was part of the Stomach family, quote unquote, to well, what can I say? No. He wants to evolve Stomach, but he wants to do it through his own machinations. But unfortunately, those machinations soured as as he had a plan to assassinate Boka Jaldak. And Boka Jaldak is some like powerful fucking bitch, man. He has a fucking finger gun. He's like, you know, unsusceptible to like hypnosis. Like this bitch is like all powerful. All powerful and all knowing, like even to the point that like he knew that Nielf set up like, you know, an explosive when he was doing his grandiose goal of farming people, right, to become like dark treats. Like he saw like people as like cattle, and so he made like a whole plan along with his daughter, because his daughter was, I mean, Liesel is, oh my god, don't get me started on like Liesel, man, that bitch. Sorry, but that bitch is like spoiled princess archetype. Like this girl adopted Jeep and they became like husband and wife, but Liesel doesn't see Jeep as like a significant other, right? Liesel saw Jeep as like, oh, he's just another toy. She's a spoiled princess that likes her world, I wouldn't say like intact, because she has like, you know, a very like psychotic side as well. Not to the point of like Jeep, but she likes people or things like break apart or suffering. She finds joy in that. She finds joy in that, and that's very like fucked up. Until like at the very end, where she like changes as a person via like the finale. And anyway, Nielf tries to use Shoma, or tries to team up with Shoma to take down President Boka, but Boka, this omnipotent bitch, knew about their plan and proceeds along with the plan and uses Nielf to fight Shoma. But Nielf went out with a bang for his one of his unforeseen plans. Boka set up a bomb on Nielf and exploded his ass. Like, damn. Poor Nielf, bro. Like, I literally said in like one of my tweets, poor Nielf. Like, this bitch just went out with a bang. Excuse me. So, the three riders had to ultimately team up with Longo. And Longo was the big dragon bitch that Shoma thought he killed but was somehow alive. Shoma just like scarred him a bit, like on his like right eye or some shit. Yeah. And that happened, like that team up, and they succeeded in killing Boka. But it was all part of Longo's plan to team up with Shoma and the gang, also that he could resume his stomach operations and kidnap a lot of people to make dark treats and evolve the stomach family. You know? What a evil sleazebag. I mean, of course I knew it. He's not gonna give up like the one thing that will like evolve the stomach like company, which has brought him a lot of bang for his buck. The dark treats. He's not gonna let go of that shit. No. He's not gonna let go of that. He will like die on that hill, which he does. He does. And like at the season finale, a lot of shit happened, right? A lot of shit happened. Shoma fighting Longo one last time, the rematch. Very awesome choreography, action choreography throughout like the whole like season. It's really like good. Hanto becoming like a fucking like hybrid grappler. Hanto becoming a hybrid grappler and just beating on both Liesel and Jeep, right? Just like headbutting the bitches. Ooh, and he just fucking like what's that one wrestler move where like he no shit like picks up a person like at the top like this and then falls back down? What's like that wrestler move? I don't know what it is. It's not like the Stone Cold Steiner or some shit. No. Like no, I don't know. No, it's not like a backdrop. No, it's not like a Batista bomb or anything like that. No, it has a specific name. It has a specific name of some kind. I just don't know what it is. But he does like command grabs. He does like headbutts, right? Shit like that. Hanto is a legit fucking fighting game character. It's so funny. And then Lakia has his own thing, right? Of rescuing the hypnotized, kidnapped people. And I was, oh my god, I was so scared of like Lakia, because Lakia is the coolest fucking Kamen Rider, or third Kamen Rider there is. I thought they were deadass going to do some like what was it? I thought they were deadass going to do a Kamen Rider Grease sort of thing with like how Bill did it. Like they're just gonna sacrifice him, right? They're just gonna off him as like, hey, here's an extra final form, right? That the third rider can have. And he proceeds to go out with a bang because it was too volatile, too dangerous, and we see this bitch goodbye. No, he actually stays alive. We all thought he was going to die, but no. He closed up all of like the dimensional gateways that sort of connects like the human world and the Granude world, and he stays behind in the Granude world. Checking up on, you know, some fucked up Granudes that may be like inside his own world. And stays there. Luckily he has like companions like the Gachizos to like keep him company, but oh my god, I was so scared, man. Yeah, he has all these like friends back in the human world, like Shoma, Hanto, his not girlfriend Sachika, right? I hope they don't do him dirty, and they didn't. He just stays in another world, keeping a check on the Granude world, but like, nah. I'm glad Lakia didn't die. But anyway, Shoma kills Jeep. Liesel is like spared mercy. Shoma kills Longo for sure this time. And then everything after like 3 months later, back to normal. Shoma makes like the opposite of dark treats, light treats, where he's like a sweets maker, makes some killer fucking cupcakes instead of that insidious ass jello made out of like human substance. You know what I thought of? It's like that one show. Anybody remember the Amanda Bynes show? Hold on. Let me give y'all a fucking trip down memory lane. This might be copyright, but hey, you know, holy shit, this looks so fucking on point to like how dark treats are. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like the alien family that like what was it? Creates all this like alien food that's not very pleasing to humans, but when they make this like certain food called a meat pie, it's meat. Like that's how like dark treats are, but it's very good to granutes. It's not good for humans because they're the secret ingredient. You know? So 3 months passed, Shoma became a sweets maker, or a pastier, making light treats instead of dark treats, making cupcakes for both humans and granutes so that they could find peace and solace and happiness. Still working at Happy Parade with Sachika. Hanto still continues his freelance work, article work, writing about the dark treats as a way of making him have solace, right? Making him have some sense of solace after being so fucked by stomach and dark treats anyway. Shoma also talks to his uncle, Michiru, and yeah, that's how the show ends, right? Oh, and also the tease with Zetz, who hands him like a Zetz gachizo, but this bitch having the most unlucky streak there is, getting zapped by a fucking UFO out of like nowhere, reminding me of who's that one guy? Oh, Deno, Ryotaro. Good kid, but like it's the most unluckiest bitch there is. And that's Gavv, right? That's Gavv. It's a really cool season. I give it like, as far as the Reiwa seasons go, right? There's like 01, there's Saber, there's Revice, there's Geats, there's Gotchard, and now there's Gavv, or completed Gavv, and soon it will be Zetz. Out of the 6 like Reiwa shows that they're at, I would personally put Gavv like at second, Geats at the very top, 01 at 3, 01 at 3, Revice as fourth because of Vice. And a tie for fifth can either be between Saber or Gotchard. Oh, you know what? I'll put fifth as Saber and Gotchard as sixth, right? I'll put Gotchard as sixth. I'm sorry for all you Gotchard fans out there, and I'm sorry for all you Saber fans, but I said my piece. I said my piece, right? You ain't topping 01, Geats, or Gavv for me. Ain't just no way. All you Saber stands out there and all you like Gotchard stands out there, hell no. Hell no. You ain't putting that shit on me, dog. Gavv is just like, you know, I've seen a lot of Kamen Riders, right? Like anybody that comes onto like my channel, right? Anybody that comes onto the streams, anybody that makes a, a direct comment on my Twitter or Blue Sky. Y'all know I'm a Toku stan, like more so a Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Ranger stan through and through. I have selective like tastes for Kamen Riders here and there, right? Like a Kamen Rider show has to have like a lot of like elements that really like jingle my whistles a bit, you know? And I've seen my fair share of them. I've seen all of Phase 2. I'm halfway or like 60% done in Phase 1. I still have yet to see Kuga, Akito, Hibiki, and Decade. But I've seen my fair share of Kamen Riders. Some are good, right? Some are good, some are bad. Some have really good concepts and premise, but they just fall flat towards like the end. Some have really bad like ideas, but actually like those bad or like hokey ideas are actually like really smart, you know? Right? Very well like surprised. What is that, mango? Oh yeah. I'm still reviewing. Taking my time slowly. No, mommy, it's fine, bye. Trying to like eat dinner while like talk chat, so it's very like uncouth, right? I'm very civilized, but I'm trying to make it work with the time frame that I have. So I've seen my fair share of Kamen Riders, right? Like it has to have like, not trying to be like perfectionist over here, right? But gotta have cool characters, gotta have really good story, really good writing, narrative. Everything just seems to like fall in line, things like that. I can be like a little bit lenient and have like 2 of the 3 categories like mentioned, and it could still be like a good show for me, right? Just like some of like down to personal biases, if you want to be like really specific. Like Geats was really cool because I love the Fox Rider. I love the gimmick of like battle royales and the meta commentary that it plays on audience spectatorship and stuff like that, and toxic fan bases or toxicity in general. It definitely falls flat on some character evolutions. Like I hated Keiwa becoming Bujin of how I originally thought it would be. You know, it was just some scheming machinations by like the higher ups, but I did like Geats because, you know, Geats was cool, the main rider was cool. I did like the meta commentary, the motifs. I did like all the other like riders, right? Secondary, third, fourth, you know, shit like that. Geats is always going to be like my #1 in terms of like the Reiwa seasons, or even more so overall. I think if I do like overall, I think it would be like 3rd. #1 would still be like W for sure, because I love like the relationship between Philip and Shotaro, right? I definitely liked like the universe it's in. I love like the hard-boiledness of W. Detectives always like a soft spot for me, but make them like cool, you know? I like that shit. So Gavv just like has all of those like things, I feel, right? It's charming and cute because of like the little like minions that Shoma like, you know, shits out, the little like gachizos right here, like literally these shits, you know, like these cute little like snacks that whenever Shoma eats something, his like little like belly shits out like an appropriate like gachizo, like a snack. It could be like cookies, it could be candy, like gummies, right? It could be all sorts of things, you know? Bitch even ate cakes or ice cream. He even ate like ramen, right? Anything that Shoma deems like tasty, or whatever like premium Bandai comes up with an idea for a gachizo, it's like, yeah, that's a gachizo, you know? So yeah, like it's charming, it's cute, you know, it's very like colorful of a show, especially to like some elements. It applies so well with the contrast of the villains, which is the Granules, who live in a very dark society, you know, even though they're people just as the same as humans, you know. So yeah, it's very well written. It doesn't spoon feed as much to us as the audience of the show that it is. Nah, it's really good. I like it. And you know what makes like a Kamen Rider show really good is the action choreography. Like, let me tell you, the action scenes, the fights in these shows are really like spectacular to look at, you know, from beginning to end. Gavv has literally like the most creative action scenes I've ever seen in a Kamen Rider, and they're actually super swaggy as fuck, bro. Like, goddamn. I know everybody praises like about like Kuga being like, you know, the absolute like crash out on social media, because you know that's what they dubbed that scene, as a crash out. But the scene of where like Kuga literally punches the shit out of a monster or a Grongi, because that Grongi was robbing away a person's like happiness away, you know, like just gotta die, fucking bitch, you know, like it's cool. But of course, like the action was cheesy, it was not that evolved. Fucking sneeze again, I dare you, I double dare you, motherfucker. Sneeze one more time, goddamn time. Oh shit. Damn, man. What's up, James? But like that Kuga scene is super fucking cool, and I respect it. I think it's also cool. I think it's also really cool as well. But I feel like, you know, not to be like, you know, a Gen Z type of guy for like, you know, some newer shits that may appear to look cool. And of course, I never seen like Kuga as well. But the action scenes are like super like phenomenal, right? Like the way I could describe them is like you have to see them yourself, chat. Like just like I'm not gonna pick apart like a scene and show it off to you in a stream, because eventually that video, that snippet will be like copyright on YouTube when it gets like uploaded. But like trust me when I say like, oh, the action scenes is some of the most dopest of shits. It's like someone throwing black pepper at you. Yeah, man. Ugh. It's cold. Fucking god. It's gotta happen at one point. Ugh. Oh wow, that coffee still had some of that caramel thing. Damn, I want more. The action scenes are really cool. The characters are super cool as well. Of course, some amidst like some biases that I have for certain characters. Like I couldn't stand like Sheeta or Jeep. I couldn't stand Liesel or President Boca. Right? But the characters had like depth to them, and they have like real maturity going on over here, and they're smart too, right? All because of like the writing as well, right? Like our favorite girl Sachika, right? Our Gyaru, 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 Gang, like Gal Rider, not Gal Rider, right? Our Gal girl, right? She has like, she's like our resident, what was it? Good girl all around, but there are a lot of people throwing hints around and some like theories that she could be like a dirt rider, as like But we got like a third rider, Lakia, and people were even playing around with the idea or theory that Lakia is going to die near the finale or at the finale, and Sachika is going to take up like the helm to honor his like sacrifice and become like a third rider or some shit. It's like, why would she? She's fine, like, I wouldn't say like in her role. I mean, of course, I love like, you know, girl Kamen Riders. We got a secondary girl Kamen Rider, but Rine didn't like, you know, do anything substantially cool, right? Or isn't like charming enough. I would say Kurama Neon was like a really cool girl rider in Geats. Valkyrie was also really cool in Zero One. You know, those two specifically in the Reiwa era. I find those to be a lot more charming and attractive and badass in those seasons than I do with like Rine, but she never like had like an instance of like, I need strength or some shit, which is kind of like, you know, that's kind of like, yeah, if she had that, that would have been some bad writing, you know? Like, how can I help my boys? How can I help Shoma? I want to be happy Pare, but I also want to help out my boys. I want to seek strength too. No, she's fine all on her own, right? She's our cute, kawaii, like, you know, happy Pare girl. And she helps out to the best of her abilities, and she accepts that. She accepts that, you know? She's fine with where she's at. And we like her that way, right? Not saying, you know, like, God, like some, like, you know, boy versus girl, like, you know, gender, like, bullshit type of like that. No, like I said, I like cool girl, like, riders, right? I think they could be, like, really cool, you know? Just as, you know, just as long as there's, like, they are, like, written well, but they have to be, like, you know, cool. They have to, like, you know, matter. Rine didn't matter, even though she got her chance as secondary rider. She didn't matter to me, you know? Like, she didn't make the cut. Sachika is like our girl that she understands where she's at. She'll help out any way she can at her level. She's not a fighter. She's like just a handyman. And she's okay with that. So why force her into something that she's not? You know? Some bullshit like, I want a female Kamen Rider. We have plenty of those. You know? So yeah, like a lot of the characters are good, a lot of like the writing is good, a lot of like the stuff in Kamen Rider is cool. One personal gripe I have was like, you know, I think it was like when they were introducing like Stomach and Suga in Hanto's arc, right, the first arc, they were going ham on Hanto and the sleaze Suga, you know? But I kind of thought it was like meh, you know? Like they're driving home on the sleaze Suga arc and the bitter Gavv and the dark Shoma, but I thought that was like unnecessary, you know? Like, okay, we got into sleaze Suga, but it just sort of like, it's like a filler arc to the Stomach family. And when they brought back the Stomach family, they introduced the Jalducks. They introduced the Jalducks, and we had to deal with Jalduck bullshit, you know? So, cool. But I feel like the Jalducks explore like the depth of the Stomach family as like a whole. So I consider it like it's a pass, you know? But the one gripe I have was like the whole like Bitter Gavv and the Dr. Suga arc, which was kind of like a stall. I kind of didn't like that, you know? I didn't like that. I'd rather have it, you know, be done very quickly or be integrated into like the stomach, because you know Neil was working with the Suga at a capacity, right? It's not like it was just outside, but we did see this bitch working with that bitch, you know? Excuse me. Yeah, just like one gripe I had. And of course, like the finale had like, you know, some loose ends. I think like only the one loose end would be, well, technically two, is how is Neil gonna come back into the human world? And what's gonna happen to Liesel? Because we saw with Liesel's character is that, oh, she's like the what? She's like the spoiled La Princesa of the Jaldak family. And she only saw Jeep as like her personal toy that she likes to break apart and reassemble again, like some sick spoiled girl shit. But when she saw like her pops died, and when she saw Jeep like being mature, it's like she changed too. Now she doesn't see Jeep as like a toy, rather an actual person. Of course, her shit is fucked up because she's of high royalty. She doesn't give a fuck about like, you know, the destruction of another world or some shit. Nah. Or like other person's like feelings. She just like sees something as like a cute toy. She wants to play with it until it is done. But now she knows what loss feels like. And she's stranded in the human world. So what's gonna happen to her? Probably will be like explained in either a, inshallah, I'm hoping, a winter collaboration movie, right? Between Gavv and Zetz, or possibly the newly announced V Cinema movie, like their what was it, TV 14 movie, that's gonna have like a new exclusive form for Hanto, and it's gonna explain what Liesel's been like doing ever since like her what was it, her stranded nature in the human world. So that could be like explained, right? Hopefully that they can like explain it and not just like some bullshit just to promote like a new like new form for a rider. It doesn't look like a Kid Bash form. That's what I've been like hearing, because usually like rider forms for like spin-offs are usually like an amalgamation of previous rider forms, and they just like trash can pile it onto another person and hence call it a new form. Like what was it, fucking Gotchard, when Spanner got like a G1 form with the two like what was it, gauntlets. They are literally like Gotchard, Iron Gotchard's like train gauntlets. This motherfucker ain't fooling us, Chad. That's a Kid Bash form. You know? But yeah, like Kamen Rider Gavv, a solid season. Like straight up like 9 out of 10 show. It is so far like second for me in my Reiwa seasons at the moment. That could like change if potentially like a rewatch or some shit like that. Geats is like still up there. It is like if I were to do like all the Kamen Riders I've seen, it would probably be like third. Probably be like third or fourth. Ain't no way it's topping like W or Den-O for me. Ain't no way in hell. But yeah. That is Kamen Rider Gavv, and it's very awesome and it's very enjoyable. I dig it like 100%. if you guys haven't seen it, there are places that you can watch it, right? If you want to know what they are, I can type them down for you in like comments on YouTube, or if you really want to know where you can find like good tokus, I could type them down in the chat, right? But yeah, Kamen Rider Gavv is super cool. I dig it 100%. Let's hope that like Zetsit's really cool. From what we heard last time, it's got like writers that worked on Kamen Rider X8 and Build, right? That's cool. It's got an interesting premise about dreams and nightmares, so that's gonna be interesting to explore. So I can't wait what that's like. Can't wait to what that's like. Can't wait to see what that's like.